Imagine planting a single tree today, and long after you're gone, your great-grandchildren are still harvesting food from it. Not for decades, but for centuries. Most gardeners plant for seasons, but the wise ones plant for generations. Today I'll show you 10 trees that can feed a family for hundreds of years, even with almost no maintenance. Food prices rise. Weather changes. But these ancient food trees don't stop giving. They've survived wars, droughts, storms, and entire civilizations, yet they still produce food today. From the Mediterranean to North America, from ancient villages to modern homesteads, these trees have quietly fed families for centuries. And the best part? You plant them once, and they keep producing long after your lifetime. In this video we'll explore the 10 most powerful long-living food trees, their lifespan, what they produce, where they grow best, and how you can plant them to build a food legacy that outlives you. If you love timeless gardening wisdom and want to build a food garden that lasts for generations, you're in the right place. Subscribe to Elder Gardener, where we grow not just plants, but legacies. The chestnut is often called the bread tree, and for good reason. In ancient times, when grains were scarce, chestnut trees fed entire communities. These trees can live 300 to 500 years and produce high-calorie nuts every single year. The nuts can be roasted, ground into flour, or baked into countless recipes. The secret behind the chestnut's long life is its deep taproot system, which helps it survive droughts, storms, and shifting soil conditions. If you live in USDA zones 4 to 8, this tree can become the backbone of your food forest. Planting is simple. Full sun, well-drained soil, and enough space for its canopy. One common beginner mistake is planting chestnuts in soggy soil. They absolutely dislike wet feet. Once established, a chestnut tree becomes a reliable food source for generations. Across the world, the olive tree is known as a symbol of immortality, and it truly earns that title. In the Mediterranean, there are olive trees over 1,000 years old that still produce fruit today. Olives and olive oil are high-value foods, and a mature tree offers steady production for decades. Olives grow best in USDA zones 8 to 10, especially in dry, sunny climates. They are slow growers, but once established, they tolerate drought, heat, and rocky soil with ease. Planting is simple: full sun and minimal watering. Overwatering is the biggest threat to this tree. If you want a tree that continues feeding your family long after you're gone, the olive is a perfect choice. It's more than a plant, it's a legacy. Mulberry is the tree that gives no one a chance to catch up. It begins heavy fruiting in just 2 to 3 years and continues producing berries for 200 to 300 years. The berries are soft, sweet, and nutrient-rich, perfect for smoothies, jams, drying, or fresh eating. Mulberry's greatest strength is its adaptability. Poor soil, heat, drought, it handles everything. In USDA zones 4 to 9, it's almost guaranteed success. Plant it in an open space because it grows fast and forms a wide canopy. One mistake people make is planting it near walkways. Fallen fruit can create a mess. If you want a low-maintenance, high-yield, long-living food tree, mulberry is unmatched. Plant it once and it will give you buckets of fruit every year. Apple trees are everywhere, but not all apples are equal. Dwarf apple trees live only 15 to 20 years, while standard rootstock apple trees can produce fruit for 100 to 300 years. Many orchards in the US still harvest apples from trees planted in the 1800s. Standard apples develop strong trunks, deep roots, and better disease resistance, making them ideal for long-term food security. They thrive in USDA zones 3 to 8. Planting tip: always choose standard rootstock, not dwarf. Apple trees need full sun and yearly pruning, but over-pruning can shorten their lifespan. A mature apple tree can produce dozens of pounds of fruit every year. If you want a tree your grandchildren can enjoy, the standard apple is the way to go. Pear trees may not be as popular as apples, but they are incredibly strong and long-lived. Standard pear trees can continue fruiting for 150 to 250 years. They are naturally disease-resistant and can handle harsh winters and dry summers with ease. In USDA zones 4 to 8, pears are extremely reliable. Their secret is their low-maintenance nature. Once established, they produce consistently with very little care. Planting tip: plant 2 varieties together for strong pollination. A common mistake is heavy pruning. Pears prefer light shaping only. Pear fruit stores well for months, making it a valuable long-term food source. If you want a dependable long-life fruit tree that gives sweet, juicy harvests every year, the pear is a perfect choice. The fig tree has been part of the human diet for thousands of years, and it can continue fruiting for over 200 years. Figs are naturally sweet, fiber-rich, and energy-dense. This heat-loving tree thrives in USDA zones 7 to 10. Its greatest strength is resilience. It tolerates rocky soil, drought, and intense heat. Planting tip: give it full sun. In shade, fruiting drops significantly. Beginners often overwater figs, but this tree prefers dry conditions. A mature fig tree can produce dozens of pounds of fruit each year, perfect for fresh eating, drying, or preserving. If you want a sweet, ancient, long-living food source, the fig tree is a timeless choice. The walnut tree isn't just a nut tree. It's a full protein source that can feed families for 300 to 400 years. Walnuts are rich in healthy fats, protein, and minerals, and a mature tree produces heavy yields annually. Its strength lies in its massive root system and strong trunk, which help it withstand storms and climate changes. It grows reliably in USDA zones 4 to 9. Planting tip: walnuts need lots of space. One important warning: walnut trees release juglone, a natural compound that can affect some vegetables. Keep them away from garden beds. Walnut is a long-term investment. Slow to grow, but once mature, it provides food and shade for generations. The white oak is a majestic tree that can live 300 to 600 years. Acorns were historically used as a flower alternative and are still valued by food forest gardeners today. White oak grows slowly, but once established, it handles storms, drought, and soil changes with ease. It thrives in USDA zones 3 to 9. Planting tip: protect young saplings so their roots can develop strong. Avoid compacted soil. Oaks need loose soil for deep roots. Properly processed acorns become a nutritious, long-lasting food source. If you want a tree that provides shade, strength, and food for centuries, the white oak is unmatched. The pecan tree is a true American treasure, producing nuts for 200 to 300 years. Pecan nuts are flavorful, energy-rich, and store extremely well. This tree performs best in deep soil and warm climates, especially in USDA zones 6 to 9. Its massive canopy and deep roots help it withstand drought and storms. Planting tip: pecans need lots of sunlight and space. Beginners often plant them in cold pockets. Pecans prefer warm nights. A mature pecan tree can produce dozens of pounds of nuts every year. If you want a long-life, high-yield nut tree, pecan is an excellent choice. The carob tree is often called the survival tree, and it truly lives up to the name. It can live 200 to 300 years and thrives in drought, heat, and poor soil. Carob pods are naturally sweet and can be ground into a powder often used as a chocolate alternative. It grows reliably in USDA zones 9 to 11. Its secret is a deep root system that finds moisture even in extreme heat. Planting tip: choose a dry, sunny location. Avoid over-fertilizing. Carob prefers lean soil. This evergreen tree provides shade year-round and produces food even in tough conditions. If you want a long-term, low-maintenance food tree, carob is a perfect choice. When we plant a tree, we're not just planting branches and leaves, we're planting time itself. We're planting hope. We're planting a story that continues long after we're gone. These 10 trees are more than food producers. They are anchors, steady, patient, and generous. They don't rush. They don't demand. They simply grow, quietly, consistently, year after year, generation after generation. In a world where everything feels temporary, these trees remind us that some things are still built to last. A single planting today can become shade for your children, nourishment for your grandchildren, and a legacy for people you may never meet. If you believe in long-term gardening, in wisdom passed down, in growing food that outlives us, then you're already part of this journey. For more timeless gardening knowledge, join the community here at Elder Gardener, where we don't just grow gardens, we grow legacies.